In the last episode, you built a toolkit, participant flow, the primary outcome, the secondary outcomes, the tables and figures, and what's missing. Now, we open the actual results section of Busser 2012 and apply every one of those 5 elements to the real text, the real tables, the real numbers. First, participant flow. The records of 358 patients fulfilling the inclusion criteria were identified. 55 patients, 15.4%, were not available for examination. 303 patients agreed to participate. This is the same number from the methods episode. But here's why it matters in the results. Every percentage that follows is calculated using 511 implants in 303 patients as the denominator, not 358. The authors are consistent throughout. They never quietly switch denominators mid-paper. That consistency is a quality marker worth noticing. Second, the primary outcome. Go back to the aim. Assess the 10-year survival and success rates. Now find it in the results. It's under its own subheading. Overall 10-year success and survival rates. 6 implants lost, 1.2% failures. 496 implants, 97.0% met success criteria. This retrospective analysis demonstrated a 10-year implant survival rate of 98.8% and a 10-year implant success rate of 97.0%. Clearly labeled, clearly separated, stated with the exact language promised in the aim, reported before any secondary parameter. Exactly what a well-structured results section should do. Third, the secondary outcomes. 2 more subheadings follow: clinical parameters and radiographic parameters. Mean plaque index, 0.65. Mean sulcus bleeding index, 1.32. Mean probing depth, 3.27 millimeters. Mean dim, negative 0.42 millimeters. Mean DIB, 3.32 millimeters. These were never the study's main question. They describe the texture of the outcome, but they don't prove success or failure on their own. Read them as context that supports the primary finding, not as a replacement for it. Fourth, reading the tables and figures. Here's where the frequency tables tell a more precise story than the means alone. The range runs from 1.17 millimeters to 7.20 millimeters. A 6 millimeter spread is hiding behind one average. Figure 5 shows the real distribution. Table 11 shows the DIB mean is 3.32 millimeters, but implants, 49.5%, had minimal bone loss. 57 implants, 11.3%, had no bone loss or even bone gain, but 176 implants, 34.9%, had moderate bone loss, and 22 implants, 4.4%, crossed into what the authors explicitly call progressive bone loss, the same threshold linked to the documented peri-implantitis cases. The mean of 3.32 millimeters sounds reassuring. The frequency distribution shows that more than a third of all implants experienced at least moderate bone loss over 10 years, a detail the average completely conceals. The same applies to figure 4b. Mean DIM is negative 0.42 millimeter, sounds stable. But roughly 35% of implants actually had visible mucosal recession. Only the frequency table reveals it. Fifth, what's missing and what's reported with unusual transparency. Check the methods promise list: suppuration, MPLI, MSBI, PD, DIM, DIB. Every parameter is reported. Nothing is silently dropped. But notice the case-level detail. The authors described the 2 suppuration cases by name, including that one patient was a heavy smoker with severe bone loss, with photographs in figures 2 and 3. They trace one peri-implantitis case directly to excess cement during the restoration. This level of detail, shown rather than smoothed into a single percentage, is a marker of honest reporting that many studies skip. So here is what applying all 5 elements gives you: a consistent denominator throughout, a clearly prioritized primary outcome reported exactly as promised, secondary parameters that add texture without overshadowing it, Frequency distributions revealing real variability the means conceal. Most importantly, that over a third of implants showed at least moderate bone loss despite a reassuring average. And complete transparent reporting down to the case level. You're no longer reading 98.8% survival, 97.0% success as two clean numbers. You're reading them as numbers with a fully traceable process behind them. Next episode, the discussion and conclusion, where the authors finally interpret what all this means and where you learn to check whether that interpretation actually matches the evidence you just read for yourself. Episode 9. The discussion and conclusion. How to read a scientific paper. Dental depth.